There it is.
Now we should start. Be serious.
No, I can't do that. I can't be serious even though I'm recording. I can just regret my bad jokes after the fact.
Over and over and over again on YouTube.
Yes, on YouTube, no less. Yeah. Well, hey, everyone. I'll keep watching the participant list here. I think we can get started in a couple of minutes just to give some people more time to join. Yes, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone that's coming into the community call.
And while we are waiting, this is Tom speaking. I'd just like to say, excuse me, attempt to say at least, on behalf of the core team, I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season and a great new year. We're excited about 2023. 2022, obviously, a transitional year for us as we took the distribution from Y of the North and took responsibility for its future growth. And I got to say, we're really excited about the December release and how that positions us to do some really good things this year. So welcome, everyone, and thank you for taking time to join us today.
Great, great. Yeah, thank you, Tom. And with that, let's see, let me admit these 4 people here. And yeah, I think we're ready to start the call. So again, welcome to the January 2023 community call. It's great to see all of you here. We have some really good stuff to cover with regards to some Daxko information and some 2023 roadmap planning. There'll be some discussion about Layout Builder version 2 and some other things. And of course, we'll have Q&A at the end. So I'll watch the chat and feel free just to jump in and speak out your questions as they come. So thank you again. And I think I will turn it over either to Kylie or maybe to Shelley.
No, I'm going to start today. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are afternoon, depending on what side of the country you guys are on. Happy New Year, and thank you for joining us. I don't think we'll be terribly long because we're in that cycle right now where we are 1 month post-release, and we are really, really excited at the release we were able to put out in December. And we were able to get a little bit more into it. That release was massive. It had over 100 tickets in it and a lot of significant, really good work. So we're very excited about that. This morning, I'm going to start with an update from Daxko that I really, really want to draw anybody who's using Daxko's attention to immediately because there's a timeline that's coming. So we'll start there. So anyone using this version of Daxko, this is the API. If you have a schedules that imports that for your like group exercise classes, that looks like this. I'm speaking to you people. Also, if you're using an embed code for,
I'm not sure if you're sharing your screen.
Yeah,
it
we are
says
looking
I
at
am.
we are looking at YMCA Zoom.
Oh, come on.
Not sharing the right
Zoom,
screen.
let's try. It said it was. Now?
Here we go.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Oh, we're going to go back. No, going the wrong way. Sorry. Zoom is not my friend today. Apologies, everybody. So if it looks like this, starting again on your website, this is the version I want you guys to be aware of. There are 2 versions for GroupEx Pro that you may be using. You may be using this version, which is an import. It could have different colors and have slightly different styles, but the generalization would look like this. You would be using a Daxko API or a GroupEx Pro API. They're the same company. What they are doing, just to give a little bit of history, when this first became available, we were doing imports. Daxko came up with a quote unquote OpenY API, which is what it was called on their side. Over the last little bit, they've been rebuilding that API to provide you guys with better tracking through the Daxko interface. This is not an OpenY piece. That API is going to be put into effect February 28th of 2023. So we have a little bit under 2 months time to make changes to that API. If you are using the embed code from the older version of the embed code, your timeline stays the same. So you're going to need to make an adjustment regardless if you're using an embed or if you're using a version that looks like this. However, if you're using a version that looks like this, I would like to urgently ask you to start getting on that because it's going to take you a little bit longer. So here's the information. Let me see if I get it to change screens. There we go. So this is directly from the notification we've got from Daxko, and I will give the note to Tom Scarborough so we can place it into the community chat as well that came directly from them because it's got a little bit more information to it. But these are what you need to do to ensure your services is not disrupted. You need, if you want to stay with the API for the import, you need to contact your sales rep. They are saying it's $34 per month per association is what I have in my notes. And the original amount Tom Gardner they gave us was 40,000 calls. So I'm assuming that hasn't changed. Most of the architects have agreed that that should be sufficient for most wise. So you'll need to give a call. They will have to work through a contract with you. Once they get the contract signed and done, they will be able to give you access to the new APIs. You will need to take that to your vendor or partner, and they will help you install those APIs and set them up from that side. So there will be an additional cost on your vendor side as well as this for the implementation. But the code is available. YMCA of the North piloted this a couple of years ago and otherwise have started to make the transition. So it is available within the distribution. You can pick it up. And Andrii and Avi are working on the documentation simultaneously. And if you have any questions or your partner vendor has questions, reach out to them in the Slack channel and they can help you. If you don't want to go, if you can't afford the charges at this time, or you don't want to make the change to the new API for whatever reason, you can contact Daxko and get access to the updated embed script. It looks better than the old embed script from Daxko for those of you who are using it, and it is does function better in mobile than the previous one. So that's a dramatic improvement. That there's no charge for it, but you still have to ask for it, and then they can point you to where to grab it out of the Daxko side interface. Once you have that, you can take it's just a line of script. You can give that to your partner and they can help you make the adjustment to switch out to softwares. But again, we need to make this change before February 28th. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware of that because that timeline is coming very quickly. Now, outside of this, Avi, I'm going to transition this over to you because this one is more of you than me. But if you want to talk through this slide.
Yeah. So as Kylie said, if you are using the embed code, which is like a script tag with a bunch of kind of script stuff, it's usually like 8 or 10 lines. If you're using that on the site or the block that's called like embedded GroupEx Pro schedules, then you might have seen this new schedule checkbox toggle thing in your GroupEx Pro admin interface. We've been working with the GroupEx Pro dev team for 9 months now, testing this out and making sure that it works well and does not conflict with any of the YMCA website services themes. And we are happy to say on December 27th, they pushed an update that we have confirmed does not have any known issues. So so really they've just changed the script. There's not a ton in here that will change from your side, but you will have to change like the name of the script. There's some other options for customizing. And like I said, there's this checkbox that looks a little bit scary in the GroupEx Pro admin side. We've confirmed directly with one of our partner Wise that turning on this new schedule checkbox does not immediately change anything. It doesn't turn off the old schedule. It doesn't break anything. So feel free to experiment with that, turn it on and get the new code. And you can use that. Also, if you do choose to do it yourself, there are a little some edits that we've had to do to the script that Daxko provides in order for Drupal's like code block to consume it. If you need help with that, again, reach out to your partner or reach out in Slack, and we'll be updating the documentation shortly with that.
So I know this all sounds very scary for those who are on Daxko and are not technical. The biggest thing I would recommend for you right now is to contact your Daxko representative. First of all, have a quick conversation to them, understand which version you're using if you're using one of these, and then start putting plans in place to walk your way through the next steps. Also contact your partners. Any of the vendors on this call are aware of it, and they'll do their best to sort of help you guys navigate these waters. Okay, next, we wanted to spend a few minutes discussing,
Sorry, one other thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We're also working to have Daxko join us during next month's meeting. I feel good about it. I think they will be able to come. They were going to be here today, but they just couldn't do it. I think they'll be here next month, and I think they'll be with us, and connected directly with us to, help answer your questions, share other insights, etc.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, we asked them to join. I think it was just a little bit short notice post-Christmas when we asked them to join, so they weren't able to make it, but they will hopefully be here next time. But we want to make sure that we give you guys enough heads up, as we know a solid, I think it's about 80% Ys are on Daxko at this point. Okay, planning for 2023. We want to talk a little bit about budgetary planning. We can't answer specific costs for you because every association, every site is slightly different in terms of its infrastructure, but things I wanted you to plan for. So coming in 2023 will be two critical updates, one in March and one in June. One is for Drupal 9.5 and Drupal 10. I've written here you can't do one without the other, and some developers might get a little squirrely on that. You can technically do one without the other, but it isn't the safest or the recommended way of approaching this. Our recommendation is that you move up to 9.5 first. That has all of the migration pieces in place in it so that you can move up to 10. So my and our community's recommendation is that you guys plan for 2 core updates in 2023 to ensure that the site is secure. Our recommendation is you pick up the March one first, and then if you want to do June and or September after that, both of them will be based off of a Drupal 10 infrastructure, so you'll be able to get it from there. So want to make sure that you're planning fiscally for that. The second thing, obviously, is that Daxko, again, for February 2028, I wrote 2028 there. My apologies. It's 2023. I will correct that before we send the slide out. It is 2023. But if planning for that one as well. In terms of the next sort of thing I want you to keep in mind with these updates is the adoption of Layout Builder. So right now we will have Layout Builder completely finished by June, which will be the last version, which we will be doing the camp pieces. At that point, it is our recommendation that you plan to adopt Layout Builder between December of 2023 to June 2024 at the latest from a cost perspective. That way you will be onto the new Layout Builder version of OpenWire website services before we sunset the other one. And what sunsetting means in this case is just stop supporting some of the older, more paragraph styled components. You can stay on that forever if you wish. You just won't be on the supported version of website services where we'll be doing the new adoption. So you'll have to sort of manage that independently. But those are the kind of the big fiscal pieces I want you guys to be aware of. If you have any questions on those, please let me know. And then I will go over to Avi for training.
Yeah, thanks, Kylie. So as we talked about in December, there is tons and tons of, I think, awesome, great documentation about Layout Builder. All of the new components are documented. We've got videos with the smooth sounds of Avi, and lots of documentation to help you out. So you can see that at ds-docs.y.org, and then go into content structure, under user documentation, and then Layout Builder. as well, if you have any questions or comments on those, you can use the links on the side of the documentation for request changes, or just ping us in Slack or anywhere else. In addition, as you can see here, we have the YouTube channel that Tom Scarborough has spun up, and we've got our sweet little handle there now. So youtube.com/@YMCA's digital services. All of the videos, as well as the recordings of all of our meetings are up on there.
Avi, and these recordings are set for content admins, right? Predominantly.
Yes. Yep.
So for the content admins on this call, which I know is the majority of you, we are targeting these videos specifically to you. They're not developer based. The docs are a little bit more developer based, where the videos are much more content admin on how you physically use the system. Okay.
Yeah, and there are sections. There's sections in the documentation for both developers and content admins. So we're trying to slowly kind of solidify both of those sections in the documentation so that it works for everybody.
Okay. And so at this point, I'm actually going to stop screen sharing, and I'm going to hand it over to Shelley to screen share so she can take you through some changes that we are doing for news and events in the next release. Do you got it, Shelley, or do you need some help?
Shelley, you are on
You're
mute.
muted, Shelley.
Oh, you're still on mute.
I know, like Zoom had its own window somewhere behind literally everything else, which is a lot at the moment. My apologies. Okay, I think I've got it now. All right. Thank you for your patience. Technology doing its thing. All right, so one of the bigger changes coming with Layout Builder version 2 will be some changes to the articles and events content types. And one of the bigger changes will be to articles. What we've decided to do here is to make content editing easier for you. We're combining several content types together that are very similar currently that we're using for articles, such as blogs, press releases, and news items. And we're going to take all of these like content types and put them into a single content type with some additional settings in the back end that allow for you to flexibly display articles wherever you'd like on the site. So if you maintain a press releases page, you'll be able to go ahead and create press releases and easily place them on a nice press releases listing page, and then relate other press releases content back to that content. And you can distinguish these different types of content, so you won't be forced into this bucket where you just have one article type. You'll actually have several different flexible ways to be able to display articles throughout the site. And in addition to that, we'll also be able to leverage some of the new Layout Builder components within an article page. So you'll be able to, if you wanted to add partner logos, you wanted to add a quick testimonial or some feature cards or other items to an article page, you'd be able to do that as well. And here we have a quick example of what the article page will look like, and we'll share, Kylie, will we be sharing links to some of these designs for the team to take a look at just for feedback, or do you want me to show them here on the call?
Just on the call for today. We will get the public links out shortly.
I apologize, popping out of this window here. I have on my Envision link to show you the full article title and article content type here. So this is our revised article content type. Just some basic styles here to show you kind of what things will look like. And a listing for your related articles where you can display articles by location, by category tag, or also, I believe, by article type. So if you want to put all press releases in this section, you could do that as well. And this page will be flexible. So below the main content area here, you'll be able to place additional Layout Builder components. And then I'll do a quick view of the mobile design here.
So as we go through more and more of these builds and we get them into final builds, we'll show them to you as they're ready. but we should be able to do a demo of this in March, which we're very excited about.
And your article in whole roll. Okay, great. So articles is when I go back here and back to the slideshow. And next will be events. The changes to events are a little more minor because we really only had one event content type, made things a little bit easier, kind of one-to-one to transition over to a new event content type that, again, will have the flexibility to be able to leverage a lot of those layout builder components within the actual event content type. I know it's common that a lot of sometimes you use events, you have event sponsors or partners or other things you might want to include within an event page. So we're allowing you that flexibility here as well. And let me help you into the design and show you what events will look like as a full page. Again, very similar to the way that news will look, but you'll have kind of the more offset image and then your primary event information here. And then a block.
Our goal is to solve the problem within the code to allow you to have offsite events for the first time, because right now that's a bit of a trouble that we work around for a number of whys, but that's very exciting. Cool.
All right, thank you very much. And I think that's it with news and events. And then somehow my image just disappeared from there. Okay.
That's okay. You can continue to share for the last little bit here, Shelley. So the last, I just wanted to go to the last little bit there.
Yeah.
Let's do the events question. Sorry. Will there be options to show events that are all locations? Julie, do you mean that like it's available across every location on within your association? Is that what you mean by that statement?
Sorry, I typed really fast. Yes. So for example, we have open houses coming up for Martin Luther King Day, and all our branches are hosting open houses. So just wondering if there would be an option where you could show that it's happening across the whole association versus just one branch at a time.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really interesting piece that we should take back. Shelley, I think that is part of our structure, right? Is an all association event.
Yes. So what we can do is you can do an event for, you're referring to the entire association, not just an individual location within an association, correct?
Yes.
Well, it would be, so each of our branches would hold the same event at their branch.
Oh, okay.
So I think like Healthy Kids Day, for example, all the
it's something
branches.
that covers all locations, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, we will absolutely have an option to include that for all locations so that you create a single event. And if you check the box for all locations, there'll be like a checkbox. You could actually place that event on every branch page. So you only have to create it one time.
Okay.
And then the cool part of that as well, Julia, is that you previously had to have some form of workaround to have an offsite event, like if you're hosting an event at a golf course as an example. So now we're working in to have the event hosted by a specific association or your associations, but at a offsite location so that you can put separate addresses in. So that's another piece that they're working through to solve. And then yes, just to answer Mike's question about are the events categorized as well? Yes, they will be categorized. They will have tagging. To help you categorize based on the type of event structures. Very exciting. Thank you guys so much for the questions. We really appreciate it. The last little bit here before, if you guys have any questions, my next statement after this will be, if there's any questions, please let us know, is we wanted to welcome new associations that have recently gone live. So if you can change the sign. YMCA of Metro Atlanta is our newest friend. They have gone on to the core distribution here in middle of December 14th. They notified us that they had made that transition. So we just wanted to welcome them and extend out a greetings to YMCA of Metro Atlanta and suggest everybody take a peek at their brand new sites. We're very, very proud of them. So we'll try as new websites come online to announce them so you guys can get used to the new team members and welcome them as well to the community. Outside of that, thank you guys so much. Is there any questions? We went through a lot quite quickly today. Okay. Tom, do you have anything else?
At least I am started to check to see if I was muted as I started to speak while on mute. I'm making progress with my mute challenges. Yeah, a couple things. One, I'd like to share with the group and introduce Sandeep Goswami. Sandeep joins YUSA as the Vice President of Application Systems Development, and he will be joining us in our work to grow YMCA's website services. So you'll see him become more and more actively involved and working in connection with the core team. But having said that, I'm so pleased with the work and progress of this core team and wouldn't change a thing. So it's just, Sandeep complements our work, and I look forward to all the things we've talked about today. Excited about the opportunity to have Daxko join us next month. And as we build future releases, we continue to grow the platform, and that's all good. Back to you, Kylie.
No, that's it. Well, if there are no other questions, we are very excited to continue to work on the distribution for you. If there are, please use Slack as we make this transition. Please check out the December release. We're going to continue working on March. March will include events. It'll include the remaining content types for the landing pages that we're missing. All of the branch content type will move over to Layout Builder soon as well. So we will be angling for a demo for you guys for that one on the first week of March. So if you can check one out for there. And then we will be targeting to get both the strategic subject matter group together as well as the design group together in January. So keep an eye open for a note from that from me. The design group, I know we had one in December, but there were just too many holidays and vacations for people. So we're going to try that one again in January and hope that we'll have more people back online. Thank you guys so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Great. Oh, let me chime in just real quick for all those sites that are hosted on YMCA's cloud hosting service. We are almost complete in migrating sites from a prior process for maintaining sites, building them, and hosting them to a new and improved process that gives us flexibility to improve versions and to improve our hosting infrastructure in an agile way. When we are done with that, we are going to pursue right away incorporating the latest core release into the Virtual Y and Association websites that we host on cloud hosting services, also known as the artist formerly known as YCloud. So that is coming very quickly, and I wanted to get that out to that part of the community. So thank you.
So thank you guys. Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful new year.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks everyone.
Goodbye, team.
Everybody.